Hello, once again. I'm your host, as always, here on the Weekly Warrior Wrap-Up, Sam Eglowitz. Before we get into the interview with Kayla McGrath today, a quick apology for the last interview. If you saw it with Scotty Priest, the last edition of the Warrior Wrap-Up, things got a little out of hand here, and I try my best to keep that from happening and to keep things here cool, calm, collected, professional, casual, conversational, and stuff like that. And I really do try my best to prevent outbursts like that from happening to the best of my ability. But there's only so much I can do here, and sometimes things happen. So to anyone who watched that last interview and had to witness that display, I apologize, and I will do my best as a broadcast journalist to nip that in the bud should it ever happen again. All that being said, Warrior Nation, I'm here today with Kayla McGrath, one of the newer trainees here at Warriors of Wrestling. How are you, Kayla?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Awesome. I'm awesome. I'm glad to have you here. I know you're one of the newer trainees here at Warriors of Wrestling at the training center. How long have you been training for so far?
2 months. I've been training for 2 months.
Awesome. So what brought you here to begin with?
My friend Samantha, who trains here, she introduced me to Joe at first, and then she brought up the idea of me coming to train here, and I gave it a shot.
That's awesome. Hell yeah. Giving things a shot is such an important ability to have, such an important skill to have, and especially with pro wrestling, being able to climb in that ring. I could never do it. It requires a different type of drive and determination, so good on you for that.
Thank you.
How's your time been here so far? 2 months, you're pretty early into your training here. How's it been for you so far?
It's been great. I've learned a lot since I first started here, and it's a good environment to be in. Everyone's always lifting each other up, and I'm in love with it now.
That's awesome. Warriors Wrestling Training Center. This is what happens. Come here, give it a shot, and wind up in love with it. Good for you. That's great. So what have been some of the challenges for you so far in your training?
I'd say my biggest challenge is getting in my head too much. I overthink too much, and I have to remember I just started here, so I gotta just let myself learn and don't overthink things.
That's awesome. That's such a great answer, and that's such a great skill to have, not only in pro wrestling, of course, but life in general.
Yeah.
Being willing to fail, not fearing failure, being able to step out of your comfort zone, try things like that.
Yeah.
I think it's natural to be a little bit in your head at first. I would imagine so, at least.
Of course, yeah.
But knowing that, being aware enough to realize that's the case is a great first step in making it not the case anymore.
Thank you.
So good on you, absolutely. So what have been, flip side of the question now, I asked you about the challenges. What have been some of the things that how do I want to ask this? What have been some of the things that you've taken out of here? Some of the most important things you've learned, life lessons, things like that.
That going back on overthinking and just getting in your head too much no matter what it is, even if you're new at whatever it is, or if you're still experienced, it is, like you said before, it's normal to get in your head. So just, that's what I think.
Push past it.
Yeah, exactly.
Push past it. Get out of your head. It's not a nice place to be, Warrior Nation. So with an eye on the future, I have 2 questions, and I'll get you out of here, about your future here at Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
So every trainee's goal, as you are, every trainee's goal is to get on a pre-show match. Mm-hmm. And then everyone that wrestles on the pre-show has the goal, of course, of getting to the main show. So when you do get there, from pre-show to main show, start to take on a bigger spotlight here, do you have any dream opponents in the Warriors locker room that you would love to get in there and lock up with? Any championships in particular? I'm sure there's one, of course.
I would love to face Jade, because she has actually helped me out a lot during training, and I just think it would be cool to finally face off with her.
That's awesome. I would like to see that matchup someday. See the student become the master. That would be pretty cool. Obviously, I'm sure the women's championship is one you keep a pretty close eye on. Awesome. So that was 1 about the future. 2 about the future is beyond that, beyond smaller things like dream opponents and championships and stuff like that. What are some of your bigger goals here at Warriors? The impact you want to make on the shows, the role you want to fill in the what are some of your big goals here at Warriors?
I just want to be an influence for everyone out there who watches our shows, and be an influence, be a good one.
Awesome. Kayla McGrath, it's been such a pleasure to meet you and speak to you a little bit. I can't throw it off the table, but we got it.